Welcome back to Beagle Eye Visions Internet. We're going to continue on with, what episode is this? Number 40... Number 43 with, Jeez, I can't talk. Episode number 43 of the CubbyWhole podcast, featuring the very legendary, the very amazing, the very only Mark Passio. A legend, a godfather of the freedom community. I could go on for days talking about this man's name. He's an absolute legend. We all owe him so much with the work he's done. The work he's done and produced for absolutely free. Alright, I've already ranted enough. Let's get some more knowledge.
Blemished is natural law. It's teaching people how to receive natural law, how to receive the laws of the creator of the universe properly, and then put them in, live according to them. What the dark occult tradition does is try to obscure that and then emphasize a different aspect of either the teachings or just make it into some sort of a club for influence and power. That's how you know that the tradition has fallen off path, okay? In the modern world, that is the Freemasonic tradition. And what is it today? Do people look at the Freemasonic tradition as, wow, this is some place we can go to really learn objective morality and natural law? It can help us to prepare ourselves to receive natural law, really understand it deeply, and then live it and then teach it to others. Is that how the majority of the world perceives the Freemasonic tradition? No way. Not even close. It perceives it as, an old rich man's club that is there to, basically benefit its own. Possibly at the expense of others, but certainly only caring about itself and its own. And holding secrets, right? Holding secrets in its lodge system. This is how it's perceived. And, people who defend Lodge Freemasonry will say, well, that's because people have to want this knowledge to come to it. It's not true. I take umbrage with all forms of elitism when it comes to occultism like that. You're not doing anybody a disservice. You're buying into your own ego. This whole idea of the Hermeticists of the ancient world. There's another occult tradition that has a dark and a light side of saying, oh, we don't cast pearls before swine. We only tell people who are ready to know. Well, first of all, who are you to be the judge of who's ready and who's not, right? Secondly, if some people, might be ready and you don't know that and you never say anything to them, maybe what you would have said is the seed that gets planted that activates them down the line at some point, right? So I don't believe in this elitist form of occultism, of be quiet, never say anything until they actually try to pry it out of you, then tell them, if that. Or then make them pay dues somewhere to go get the knowledge, which they might not even ever get. That's the modern lodge system in all of these things, whether it be Hermeticism, Freemasonry, Kabbalah, Rosicrucianism, etc. To me, it's all a fallen system because they're not doing what they were originally charged to do, and that's teach natural law to the public, to the masses of people. You want to look at, an allegory that tells people what really to do. Look at the New Testament as an allegory. Jesus charged the disciples to teach the message that he was teaching people. That's it. He didn't say only give it to people who are willing to listen. The whole idea is teach it to people, they'll benefit from it. If your message is pure and it's not going to be perverted into something negative and bad, then you don't have to worry about anybody twisting it and distorting it and using it for dark occult purposes. Teach people the truth. Ultimately, with the truth, you're not going to do any harm. So in Freemasonry, there is some basic symbolism, especially in the first degree tracing board, that was highly used on 9/11 in the chaos sorcery event of 9/11. And it's the first degree tracing board is 3 pillars on a checkerboard floor with some tools in front of them with a ladder that goes from the right hand side of the pillar to the left hand side. It goes from the dark pillar to the light pillar, passing a middle pillar in between. And what this represents is the path of the sun. if you turn the board on its side and study it from a sideways approach, you see that these are the lines of these are the latitude lines on the Earth of the equator and the tropics, the equator and the Tropic of Cancer, that is 23.5 degree north latitude, and the Tropic of Capricorn, which is 23.5 degree south latitude. The sun is represented as either being in the middle at the equator, or being at its high point at the Tropic of Cancer, or at its low point, in which it is depicted as the moon, at the Tropic of Capricorn. This is the periods of, the seasons of Earth that Earth experiences because of the 23.5 degree tilt of the Earth with respect to its plane of rotation around the sun. So what you're really seeing is the ladder representing a journey out of darkness, out of the low period of the sun, to its high point at the midpoint of the summer season. Okay, and it represents coming out of the darkness of ignorance and reaching the light, reaching the knowledge of natural law, and then living your life in harmony with it. And that's how you also leave the earth plane and go to the mindset of, quote, the gods, or the sun, the true sun. They're basically taking this beautiful symbolism in the Freemasonic tradition, representing morality and progression of consciousness from unconscious to conscious. And they're utterly obliterating it. The whole ritual of 9/11 is the obliteration of consciousness and the spiritual journey. Just think about that. If that symbolism represents the spiritual journey out of darkness and into light, then what they are doing in this dark, occult, bloodletting, blood sacrifice, human sacrifice, chaos sorcery ritual, is they are symbolically annihilating consciousness itself, such that people cannot become aware, such that they cannot learn the truth, because they're traumatized by the experience. And they were very successful because, 20 years later, people still aren't any closer to wanting the truth of 9/11. It's so sad. And who I as a brief aside, aside from talking about the Freemasonry and its basic teachings and symbolism, but when it comes to this event of 9/11 chaos sorcery, I think that some of the people who are the most loathsome in all of this are structural engineers, because they know that it couldn't have come down the way that it came down, and they're cowards. Only a few tiny percentage of them wants to speak out. But you know who else is? Firefighters. The firefighters that were there, they know what occurred. They know that there were explosives. They know that there was other energies at work. It was a combination of all of those things to obfuscate the real thing that happened. And let me tell you something. A lot of those people just are closing their mouth. They won't say anything because they're cowards who want to collect a pension. They're low-life cowards. Because the firefighters on 9/11, I don't care what you went through or how you were traumatized. You know it didn't happen like the official story presents. You know the government are liars. A lot of you know this definitively who were there. And guess what you are? You're little boy cowards. You're worried about money. All you care about is your pension. You don't want to rock the boat in your department. And that makes you a little boy. That's what it makes you. And I'll say it to you like that since no one else will. The firefighters are some of the people who are the lowest life cowards in the whole event of 9/11. I'll say it right to their families. Say it to them and their families, because you guys know it didn't happen like the official events that the government told us. You know they're liars, and you won't say a word because you care more about money than truth and all of your fellow compatriots who were murdered on that day. That's what you care more about. You care more about the paycheck and the pension, low life. That's what you care about. And bring them to me. Bring them to me in person. I'll say it to their face in person. People think I care. I don't care.
Somebody please bring these firefighters to Park Passio and record it. I would pay money. I would pay $15 a month subscription service to see these firefighters go face to face with Mark Passio. Please, somebody please make that happen. That would be amazing.
You know, I'm one of those guys where, trust me, I don't care. You know, I will say it to their face. And that's what needs to be done. And then maybe some more of them will feel guilty about what lowlifes they are and come forward and say the truth that they know to other people that carries more weight than the average person because they were up close and personal there. But you know what? As long as you guys worship mammon, don't expect anybody to learn about what's going on because you guys are the people who have the ability to influence it more than anybody, and your mouths are sewn shut by money of all things. You know, and then you think you're good people and heroes? Your parents didn't raise you right, boy. You know, that's what people need to say to you. You know? You didn't learn right from wrong. You learned how to worship money. That's what you learned. You know, who's saying it like that? Where have you ever heard it said? You'll never hear it said like that. Take that and play that on all the 9/11 truth sites. Take that and play that on all the firefighter YouTube channels that they're saying that they're heroes for what they did on 9/11. You showed up after the fact and accepted the government lie and let them take all the steel away, punk. You let them clean up a crime scene so that they could get away with the crime. That's what you helped. Nothing else. You know? But let's not call people heroes when they did nothing heroic or courageous. Where they shut up, did what they were told, and then postulated the official story or were silent about what they knew. That doesn't take any heroism to do that. That takes cowardice to shut up because you might not get your pension. You know? Who cares? Who cares? 3,000 of your fellow beings were murdered with action at a distance weaponry on that day. And you're content to be quiet because you worry about your pension. Yeah, that makes you a real good person. Yeah, right.
I wanted to say something, you know, for the listeners listening to this and anybody who knows Mark or doesn't know Mark. You know, I know a lot of people who get very, quote unquote, offended when they hear this rise in this tone where the rhetoric starts to come out and you hear this roaring emotional person, and that's the sound of someone who's very real, who really does care. And people want to say like, oh, you shouldn't, you know, be raising your voice or talking like that. And it really drives me crazy to see so many people just knock the messenger without actually listening to what the person's really saying and why they're saying it the way they do. I was wondering if
you know what that is, Nate? You know what that is? That's a mind control technique. That is exactly what that is. The people who think that are under mind control. If you think someone saying something passionately and emotionally that is true, that somehow that message should be discounted because they're saying it in a fired up way, you are under mind control. And you were put under that mind control to believe this falsity by Satanists. Satanists taught you that. You don't even understand that Satanists taught you that. They taught you that through the school system. They taught you that through the media. They're in charge of all those organizations. That's how they taught you that. Their men and women in the point positions in those organizations carried out the agenda to make you believe that nonsense. That's what happened in your past and is still going on in your present. You were emotionally mind controlled into believing that only people saying things in a very pleasant, equal, tone, in a pleasant tone that is very even keeled can be speaking the truth. And that's not true, because that's what liars will do. Liars on the mainstream media will deliberately act in totally calm and perfect pleasing voices and say it to you so nicely, but they're still blowing smoke up your ass. They're still lying right to your face. They're still peeing on you and telling you it's raining. It doesn't mean nice people can be total liars, and good people can be not so nice people. We have to stop trying to equate nicety and goodness, right? Honestly, these days, I'm not a very nice person. Not a very nice person these days. I'll be the first to tell you. I'm fed up with people who are lowlives, cowards, ignoramuses, who are condoning slavery, condoning violence. I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with living in this world. Okay? So I'm not very nice about it anymore. I was nice about it for almost 15 years. I was nice about it, saying this to people. You try saying the same thing for 15 years of your life like a damn broken record, and see how nice you are after 15 years of people not only not getting it, but reverting backwards, going backwards. We were in better shape 15 years ago. We're going backwards instead of forward. You see how nice you are after doing that, after taking just about everything else out of your life and only doing that practically obsessively for 15 years. Then see how nice you are. Then come talk to me about it when you've done it at my level for the amount of time I did it. Then I'll accept criticism. Okay? Beyond that, I don't want any criticism because you haven't done what I've done. You haven't done what I've done with the intentions that I've done it with, quite frankly. Okay? So I'll listen to people's criticism when you have done as dedicatedly and as passionately as what I have done for the amount of time I've done it. Then you got room to talk. Until then, I'm not interested. And I don't care what anybody has to say about that either. You know? So the whole point is, the people who think that just because somebody gets riled up can't be speaking the truth or shouldn't be listened to, you're under mind control. That's a mind control technique. They conditioned you to think that. The dark occult conditioned you to think that way. And because you continue to think that way, they're still getting away with what they're getting away with.
I appreciate you telling us what your perspective on that and how you really feel, because it is something that I am dealing with all the time, and it's so frustrating because it's like, oh, I don't want to listen to anyone who is raising their voice, and you know, like, I understand, I get, like, okay, you know, there's no need to raise your voice for this or that, but there, you know, not to take away what you were saying earlier about the, you know, these people not you know, speaking up and not being cowards and standing up for all these innocent people that were, you know, ritualistically murdered in this 9/11.
Yeah.
You know, it's like someone's got to stand up and say something. And when they do, you're going to feel it. You're going to really feel it from them because they're so upset.
You know what they don't care about? You know what the people you're talking about don't care about? They don't care about injustice taking place. Yeah. The only time they care about if injustice takes place is if it happens to them. Then they'll get angry, you know? But they don't care when injustice happens to other people. That's why they're bad people. Right. That's why bad things are continuing to happen to them and everybody else. Because most people have that attitude that I don't care about if injustice takes place as long as it's not happening to me. That's called being a bad person. That's what being a bad person is. You know what it's like? People say, somebody raising their voice, oh, I can't listen to that. You know what that's like? Picture two slaves on a plantation, and one is raging about being kept as a slave. I can't believe these people don't see the immorality in what they're doing. I can't believe all the other people condone it. All the other people living around here condone it and let it go on and don't try to stop them. Imagine if one slave on the plantation was raging about that and angry, so righteously justified about it, and the other slaves were going, man, why do you got to raise your voice? Could you imagine? Just put it in the perspective of that. That's what we are in. Mm-hmm. That's what we are in. We are saying this is wrong. It shouldn't be allowed to continue with passion. And other people are saying, I don't want to listen to you because you raised your voice. They don't even care about what's right. What do you think that's going to do? Make me calmer? That's going to make me calmer? Showing how much under mind control you are, that you're only concerned about, you'll only even listen to a message if it's said calmly? The house is on fire, ladies and gentlemen. Mm-hmm. Get out of the head cage. Get out of the mind control. Don't worry about how a message is delivered. Worry about whether it's true or not.
Right.
You know? Yeah. Hear the message. Don't pay attention to the messenger or the delivery mechanism or vehicle, you know? Get to the meat and potatoes. Get to the actual substance, you know? That's what you got to do. Otherwise, you're falling prey to what I refer to as emotional mind control. And so many people are under emotional mind control, and they were put there by the sorcerers of the world. They were put there by the dark occultists. This is one of the techniques that they know. That's why they made the news broadcasters do that technique with their voice. They made them do these sweet and pleasant tone all your life so that you say, well, that's the news. Oh, and that's what's true. You equated what's new with what's true as well. That's another mind control technique. But you also equated that with they're calm and they're even and they're calm and they never get upset and they just say it. Yeah, because they're paid actors. Those are paid actors. They're not journalists. They're people who are paid to lie to you. That's it. So they can put on whatever air they want. They could pretend to be a comedian. They could pretend to be a drama person. They could pretend to be the most calm, even-keeled person in the world. It's an act. That's not their real personality. There's no part of their real personality coming through. This is who I am. I'm real. I'm not pretending to be anybody else. You don't like it? I don't care. You know? I'm me. I like who I am. And that's all that matters to me. Because I'm in the right. And I'm a good person. I'm not a person who pretends to be a good person. I'm a person who is a good person. I don't harm anybody. I don't condone other people's harm. I don't condone slavery. I do get upset when injustice takes place around not just myself, but other people. You know? That's what a good person is. I know the difference between right and wrong behavior, objectively and truly. And I choose right over wrong, objectively and truly. You know? That's what makes someone a good person, not the sound of their voice, not if they raise their voice, not if they use profanity, you know, not if they have any other vices. What makes a good person is they don't do harm to other people, they don't initiate harm to other sentient beings, and they don't condone that harm is initiated to other sentient beings. You know, you live like that, and then you're a good person. Most people don't live like that. Say, oh, this person has the right to go and do that, or I'll take a paycheck to do that. You know, they're not interested in really not doing harm. They're interested in harm not coming to them. Mm-hmm. But if it involves somebody else, who cares whether harm's being done to them? Or who cares whether I'm doing it? That's how most people think. You know, as long as enough money's involved, who cares? You know? So I'm not the one under mind control. I'm the one trying to disrupt the mind control. I'm not the dark evil occultist. I'm the de-occultist who's a whistleblower, who's doing the right thing by telling the truth. You know, so if you don't like my delivery, go hear it from someone else. But guess what? What I said is still the truth. And nothing could ever change that.
Okay, guys, we are at our second break, and we appreciate you. So we're going to go ahead and start right where we left off. I keep hearing you say the name or the god Mammon. The people who follow this god Mammon they're called Mammonists. Is that correct?
Oh, I guess Mammonists or Mammonites. You know, and that's really almost everybody in the world is a Mammonite. That's the real god, because Mammon is biblically the god of money. You know, he represents money. He represents the state of consciousness in which you would simply do something that is knowingly a wrong behavior to someone else for enough money. And that makes almost everybody in the world a Mammonite, because almost everybody has that price. You know, there was a professional wrestler back 20 years ago called the $1 Million Man. He had a phrase, everybody has a price for the $1 Million Man. And he would get people to do these ridiculous tasks. He would, you know, get them to humiliate themselves if offered, you know, $1,000. And he'd get them to do all these tasks, you know, and then turn to the camera and say, everybody has a price, you know. And it's very true. It's very true, sadly. It shouldn't be that way, but it's true. Almost everybody, it's not everybody, I'd say it's almost everybody, has a price. That whereby if they were offered enough money, they would do something that is harmful. And in biblical terms, this is...
And well, if you aren't, I've already left. You better be alone. Well, come on in. I've put my work on display down here, and I'd very much like you to see it.
This reminds me of a little, there's a movie from the early 2000s called The Bone Collector with Angelina Jolie and, what's his name? Forget his name. Amazing movie though, The Bone Collector. I think this is definitely an Easter egg of the movie The Bone Collector.
It's called worshiping the god called Mammon. Because it said that you cannot serve two masters. You can't serve the God of creation, who puts forward the laws of the universe, namely natural law, which are the karmic laws of behavioral consequence, the laws of morality. You cannot serve the God that created laws of morality and the laws of the universe, the God of creation, and simultaneously serve Mammon. That's what it says biblically. And nothing could be truer. That is complete truth. It is an impossibility to serve money and to only worry about your financial situation and still serve the God of creation and obey natural law. Because natural law doesn't care about what your paycheck is. It doesn't care about whether you make money that day, week, month, year, or not. Natural law only says this is what is good, this is what is right. It doesn't care about what the world situation is that has pushed you into a corner to say, I got to make up my mind about whether I want to have money to eat next week or whether I want to do the right thing. Natural law does not care about that. And it's cold and it's impersonal. There is the right thing, then there is the thing you could do for money. And wonderful and great if you could find something where they align, where you are doing the right thing and making money. That's the optimal situation. But not every situation that a human being finds themselves in can they do both of those simultaneously. So the real cold answer, okay, that isn't what people want to hear, but it's what I'm going to tell them, because I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you the truth. The real answer is sometimes you got to make the choice where you don't make any money and you're poor to do the right thing. Sometimes you got to quit your job to do the right thing. Sometimes you got to say, I'm not going to accept the payout of the God called Mammon. And I will struggle. And I might go hungry. And maybe my children might go hungry. But I'm still going to choose the right thing. How many people have that fortitude and constitution in their heart and mind? Hardly any. That's why we keep going deeper into bondage, because of all the excuses that are made where I have to do this because my paycheck depends on it. God doesn't care. I will say that. And just, oh, you don't know what God wants. No, yes, I know that. The creator of the universe does not care whether you do the wrong thing just because you're paid money. All that force cares about is whether or not you do the right thing. The end. Okay? You want to make excuses, you can make them all you want. There's a billion different reasons why you could choose to do the right thing. It will never make it the right thing to choose. See? You could continue to choose to do the wrong thing and make endless excuses. And it could always be about, oh, I have pet bills to pay, I have this, I have that, I have this many kids, they'll go hungry, I'll go hungry. The universe doesn't care. Doesn't care. You have to accept. Creation does not care about you in that capacity. It doesn't care how you got worked into a corner. All that it cares about is what your choice is. It doesn't say, well, he did the wrong thing and he condoned all this, bad, evil action be done to other people. And he participated in all that bad, evil action just because someone else told him to do it and someone else put money in his paycheck because he thought this was all he could do, this was all she could do, and his child might have gone hungry if he stopped doing it. Do you think the creator of the universe is going to be gauging that situation and go, well, give him an excuse. He caused tremendous pain and suffering for hundreds of thousands of other people, but it was because he was making a paycheck and he couldn't decide not to do that because then that money would have dried up. Really? That's what you believe the God of creation says, thinks, does, etc. Really? You think it's that petty? You think the force that made all matter and all laws in all of creation is as petty as your mind? Yeah, sure it is.
Yeah, right.
It's one thing and one thing only. What did you do? And you know what that means? That does mean what's in your heart. What's in your heart leads to what you did. People go, oh, we had the right intentions. He just didn't make the right choice. Wrong. Intentions are meaningless. Action is everything. It doesn't make a difference whether you have all the intent in the world to do the right thing. If you choose the wrong thing, that was the expression of your heart. Period. 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 The end. The end. And it doesn't matter if you don't like it. That's the truth. See, I hit people with the hardcore truth. That's why I'm not popular like podcasters who talk about political nonsense bullshit, who have millions of people following them because they're being told, oh, it's just all these politicians and we get the right person and there everything will be okay. Oh, that's what everybody wants to hear. They don't want to hear you're the problem. I'm the one out there pointing the fingers. You're the problem. See, I did this already. Already did and done. Did and done. Right? That doesn't mean I can't stand any improvement. Everybody can be improved. But I did this first. How am I complicit? How am I helping contribute to the problem? And I was contributing to the problem. Past tense. I was definitively contributing to the problem. And I kept doing this over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until I stopped contributing to the problem. And now make sure you're not contributing to the problem anymore after you do this a billion times. Do this a billion times first, right? Then make sure you're not contributing to the problem. Then start doing this, right? Don't start doing this. See, now I'm doing this. And I admit I'm doing this. I'm pointing out there other people are the problem. I'm no longer the problem. I figured out how I was the problem and I stopped. Past tense, fully stopped, okay? I'm not contributing to the problem anymore. So I'm out there saying now, I stopped contributing to the problem. Here's how you can stop contributing to the problem. But you are still contributing to the problem, by the way many people think. Absolutely still contributing to it. So you need to start doing this. And other people, when they are no longer, see the idea in, again, biblical allegory, those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Well, I no longer live in the glass house, okay? I moved on and built a solid foundation somewhere else and built a solid home elsewhere. So that's not my condition anymore. Once that's truly not your condition, then this is okay to do. And say, you need to do this. It's true that you need to do this. You haven't worked on yourself. You haven't done that. You still live in the glass house. And it is true. Some people shouldn't be doing this, but some should, as long as they have confirmed they're not part of the problem anymore.
All right, I think that's a great spot to take a break. When we come back, I will head to Nuka-Cola, hopefully empty out my inventory a little bit. I'm over encumbered constantly again. I probably have way too many Nuka-Colas in my inventory. But it's okay. When we come back, yeah, we'll go to Nuka World, grind some more. I absolutely love Mark Passio's fire. His fire is what makes him Mark Passio. I mean, he's the reason why I even started recording these episodes and started grinding. He's the reason why I got off my butt and started doing book reviews. I mean, he's the dude behind it all. I mean, of course, CubbyWhole podcast, you know, but Mark Passio is really the one. Because of his class, I took his class, How to Become the True Media Seminar. Amazing class. I really wish I could take it again. I just don't have the money right now. It freaking sucks because it costs money to live. Unfortunately, I don't have a garden or anything like that. I'm not like living for free. Oh, it sucks. The only reason I was able to go to How to Become the True Media Seminar is because I used my tax check. I worked for an entire year. Once I worked for an entire year, got my taxes back, and my taxes was like, it was 50 cents more than what the class cost. You know, I had like $1 left over once I got done donating for the class and getting my, securing my spot to make sure I could take it last year for 2023. Hopefully I'll try again for next year. If I can't make it, I'll just work all summer, save a bunch of money, and take it again. And hopefully I'll have a better computer by that time, some better equipment, because the only reason I'm able to do this is because of the PlayStation has a way that you can upload videos straight to YouTube. It's very convenient. But anyways, I've ranted enough. Thank you so much if you made it this far. if you are a fan of Mark Passio as much as I am, you know how much fire he's got. How he comes out like a roaring lion, like what Brandon Martin says. You know, like strong like lion, strong like Rasta lion. Ja bless. Good stuff, dude. Oh, Mark Passio is such a legend. Nate Cap's such a legend. Brandon Martin, such a legend. Doug Martin, such a legend. Thank you guys so much for doing this podcast and giving me permission to do these grinding episodes. Even though YouTube slaps me with control, you know, you guys know how it is. The control. The hustle, as the illusion says. The illusion. Hamish Patterson. It's all about the hustle, the hustle, the hustle. Hustle, hustle, hustle. But anyways, thanks again if you made it this far. And next episode we'll continue this amazing episode. Wrap up this almost running at 3-hour episode. Wrap it up. Yeah. Stay tuned and stay golden. I'm probably going to take Squirt Dog on a walk and get some Pokemon and then come back to finish the episode. Alright, so like I said, stay tuned, stay golden, use code BeagleEyeVision at w.gg if you want to support the channel, or go to paypal.com/ I don't even know, Cash App BeagleEye. There we go, Cash App BeagleEye if you want to directly support the channel. Donate to Cash App BeagleEye. Just send somebody to Cash App BeagleEye. I will use it wisely. And thank you for all your support, your likes, your follows, your subscribes. Thank you. Stay tuned. Stay golden, everybody.